This is the CJ Silas Show. She's been talking sports for over half her life. You'll hear big-name guests and all the hot topics. Her roller derby sisters call her Dodge Her Blue. CJ's proud of her California roots and time in New York. Born and raised in L.A., college at USC and Syracuse University. She's not afraid to share her opinions with you. And, like it or not, she wants to be the change. Ladies and gentlemen, all ears and no mask required. Here she is, CJ Silas.
Hey, welcome in live and direct. It is the CJ Silas Show on ESPN Radio 1280 AM and FM 101.7, the studio. Oh, the ticket. Oh my gosh, it's like a ghost town in here. Welcome to the world of pandemic. When one intern doesn't feel well and they've all been hanging out, they all stay home and they're all getting tested because we're doing the best, safest show possible. So it's kind of weird. I haven't done an alone show in a long time. I can handle it. I was just talking to one of the owners of the ESPN radio station here in San Luis Obispo, and he said to me, oh my gosh, I only know what day of the week it is because you show up on Wednesdays. Otherwise, I can't even follow what days of the week and when is which and which is which. And I said, well, interestingly enough, it's been 10 years. He said, what? Yes, next March, just a few months from now, March 2022, the CJ Silas Show will turn 10 years old. The CJ Silas Show. Listen for your chance to win. After the first of the year, we are going to invite 3 listeners to come to our VIP celebration party at a local winery on the Central Coast. You will be the guests of the CJ Silas Show. Hopefully all the partners for the CJ Silas Show will be there. And in our normal monthly contest, you will have a chance. The January winner and the February winner will both have a chance to choose a ticket with a +1 to come to the CJ Silas Show 10-year anniversary party that we are just beginning to plan for March of 2022. It's so crazy. We had our listener winner from November come in and pick up his Kobe Bryant poster today, right before the show. Larry McCoy, thank you so much for listening. If you want to get involved with the CJ Silas Show monthly contest, it's so easy peasy. You have to do almost nothing. Follow us on Instagram. Find the post about the contests and do it. Just make some sort of comment, tag us, something. And your name goes into the hopper. And if you haven't been following what a hopper is, it's the place where we put the little pieces of paper that have your name on it, and then we actually pull a number out of the hopper. We don't do it on some phone app or some technologically savvy contest site. While I am sitting in this chair on the CJ Silas Show, we will continue to use an old school hopper, usually a CJ Silas Show hat, which is one of the prizes you can choose from when you win the monthly contest. We're going to give prizes away until we don't have any left. And one of my interns, who's no longer even here, Griffin, last year said, listen, you should give stuff away. That would help. So I went. He bought some posters. We went out and bought new baseball shirts. We bought trucker hats. We still have some more gifts for you to choose from as we do our monthly CJ Silas Show contest. Just follow us on the CJ Silas Show at Instagram. Busy show tonight. Sean Salisbury, former NFL player, now broadcaster, just very, very successful, awesome human being. He's coming on the show in a few minutes. DJ Dutch from California Fresh, who is our partner from day one on the CJ Silas Show in March of 2012. He's going to come in. He always comes in during December to talk about the specialties at Cali Fresh because I don't always get a chance to go home or be with family during the holidays. And sometimes I rely on California Fresh to give me the best meal. And that's why he comes in. We talk about some of the ideas and things that will be going on and holiday hours. California Fresh takes great care of their employees. They don't have to work on the holidays, but they get to choose to work on the holidays. Big news here on the Central Coast, besides Sean Salisbury coming on the CJ Silas Show and our 10-year anniversary. The Morro Bay Football Pirates. When is the last time you heard me talk about high school sports on the CJ Silas Show? Maybe once? Less than 5 times in the 10 years. But I'm talking about the Pirates because they beat Lawara High School of Anaheim 35-27 with less than 30 players, all playing, most of them playing on offense and defense. The win for Jake Goosen Brown's team takes them to the Division 7 AA championship game. Now remember, they only had 5 games last year due to COVID. They beat Taft this year for the CIF Central Section Division 6 title, and your Morro Bay Football Pirates are going to the Division 7 AA championship game. I think it's cool. I didn't do a ton of research on it because I just didn't do a ton of research on it, but it's been a long time since this has happened for the Morro Bay football team. I don't even know if it ever has. Parasurfing. I don't know if you were listening to the show when Mia Armstrong joined us just a couple weeks ago and talked about better accessibility for people in wheelchairs, people that don't walk like others, people that get around differently, still being able to go out in the world and have a lot of fun and do things that young people do, active people do. Just because you're in a chair or you have a prosthetic or whatever it might be, you should still be able to do what everyone else is doing. And she's working on that because she's having trouble getting around to do the things that she wants to do, and especially surfing, getting her from the parking lot or the boardwalk to the surf. Her boyfriend has to carry her. So she's working on that. And she enlightened us. I knew that the para surfing contest was coming, but I didn't realize it was so close. But it's here right now. It's the ISA World Para Surfing Championship. It's here in Pismo Beach. It's international. Some of the best surfers from around the world, a round-robin tournament. Jamaica, El Salvador, and Puerto Rico, all first time on the International Paralympics para surfing circuit. This week, Australian Samantha Bloom killed it. In fact, there was a movie made about her, starring Naomi Watts. 5 years ago, she was in an accident in Thailand that left her paralyzed from the chest down. And she killed it this week. Surfers get to go twice, and then they get the total from both of their 2 waves, and that means that's what their score is. It's been going on for the past couple days. I can hear it from my house. I can hear it from the Pismo Preserve. It's been super cool and exciting to hear that energy in Pismo, and I hope we get to hear it and see it every year from here forward because it's really, really cool. We try to use our microphone here on the CJ Silas Show for the good. Hashtag be the change. We try to continue. We don't try, we do. To continue to move forward in our world for equity, justice, and fairness for all people. We are continuing our celebration of Black history on the CJ Silas Show this week. Ella Baker, born December 13th, 1903, was an African-American civil rights and human rights activist. She was a largely behind-the-scenes organizer whose career spanned more than 5 decades. In New York City and the South, she worked alongside some of the most noted civil rights leaders of the 20th century, including W.E.B. Du Bois, Thurgood Marshall, A. Philip Randolph, and Martin Luther King Jr. Ella Baker criticized professionalized, charismatic leadership, promoted grassroots organizing, radical democracy, and the ability of the oppressed to understand their worlds and advocate for themselves. Ella Baker has been called one of the most important American leaders of the 20th century and perhaps the most influential woman in the civil rights movement. Deacon Jones, I was so lucky to have a chance to interview him when I was at the California Sports Hall of Fame years ago, probably 10 years ago. Born December 9th, 1938, an American professional football player, defensive end in the NFL. He played for the Rams, the Chargers, and the Washington football team. Inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1980, Deacon Jones specialized in quarterback sack stats, a term that he coined, by the way. He was nicknamed the Secretary of Defense. Jones is considered one of the greatest defensive players ever. The LA Times called Deacon Jones most valuable Ram of all time. Former Rams head coach George Allen called him the greatest defensive end of modern football. Deacon Jones. Butch Lee, born December 5th, 1956, a Puerto Rican retired professional basketball player. He was the first Puerto Rican and Latin American-born athlete to play in the National Basketball Association, accomplishing this after being selected in the first round of the 1978 NBA draft. Butch Lee concluded his career in the Baloncesto Superior Nacional. He's known to be the only Puerto Rican professional basketball player to win championships in the NCAA, the NBA, and the BSN. Butch Lee. We celebrate black and brown people in the world of sports, civil rights, music, pioneers all over the spectrum here on the CJ Silas Show. And we will continue until there are no more to celebrate, which means we will do this forever. Coming up, NFL football with one of the best ever. He's not just, the best ever as a human. He played for USC. We'll talk to him a little bit about Lincoln Riley. Played for the Vikings 10 years in the NFL, and he played in the CFL and even won the championship with Winnipeg. Sean Salisbury joining the CJ Silas Show. I want to thank my partners, dermatologist Dr. Brad Kirchis. Oh my gosh, I went in yesterday, and he's really taking great care of me, but burning things off all over me just to make sure I don't get skin cancer again. Dentist Dr. Daniel Lapidus and Larry Ackerman, the Slow Wellness Center. The Avila Bay Athletic Club and Spa, Michael Moore Sports Recovery, Joy Shell Beach, Jim Nazzo of San Luis Obispo. And coming up, DJ Dutch. He's going to join us in just a little bit from one of my long-standing and original partners, California Fresh Markets, where I shop on Five Cities Drive in Pismo Beach. It's in Santa Ynez. It's called Los Ranchos Market. And in San Luis Obispo on Foothill Boulevard. It's the CJ Silas Show. If you can't listen to me live on ESPN Radio 1280 AM and FM 101.7 The Ticket or on the internet, please find my podcast wherever you listen to yours, easy peasy, or just go to thecjsilasshow.com or follow me on social media. It's the CJ Silas Show coming up. NFL and USC football with former NFL quarterback and USC Trojan Sean Salisbury on the CJ Silas Show on ESPN Radio 1280 AM and FM 101.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the CJ Silas Show. From her perch atop Madonna Mountain, let's hear it for CJ Silas.
Welcome back to the CJ Silas Show. I have to say, I've been in this business longer than I haven't. Well, probably, longer than I haven't. And there are a few people, and I talk about my friends in the business all the time, but there are a few people that have been showing up for me since I started in this career, even when they were big shots in their professional sports career, and then post-playing to whatever they did after. And this guy has pretty much been doing it the entire time, and I'm thankful that he's a friend of the CJ Silas Show. He is a host of the Sean Salisbury Show on KBME in Houston. He went from afternoon drive, and just a couple years ago now, he's doing the best time slot. He's doing mornings, and he is on the CJ Silas Show. Hello, happy holidays.
CJ, thank you for the nice introduction. It's always great to be with you, and happy holidays, and I sure appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad to have you, and I thought of you last week, but I promised myself I wasn't going to bother you the first week of Lincoln Riley being hired at USC because I know it wouldn't have been fair because you would have felt in your heart like you had to show up for me, but you had your own show to do. You had to cover the story, and I'm sure there were 50 other sports radio hosts that wanted to talk to you. So I gave you an extra week off until I bugged you. So thank you.
Well, thank you, but I never feel obligated. I do it because I come on with you. We've known each other for a long time, and you're always kind, but I'm always here. I don't ever forget that. So, a little Lincoln Riley's good conversation to have.
Right? Okay,
Yes.
First thing you thought of. When you heard the news, what was the first thing that came to your mind?
Passion and credibility back in the program. And listen, when I say that, it has nothing to do with the fact that I didn't hold Clay Helton in the highest regard. I think he's a hell of a good man, a good football coach. I think the program got a little overwhelming. Sometimes when you're at a program like that and the expectations, and he'd done a nice job, but losing to your rival and losing to teams you're supposed to beat, after a while at a school like that, at Ohio State, it's Alabama, Clemson, LSU's. I mean, look, Coach Orgeron wins a national title, and we're still not 2 years removed to the day, and he's out of a job, and he's got a ring on his finger. So expectations in college football are brutal, and in coaching, period. So, and I wish Clay nothing but the best, but it was time because there was a sense of CJ. I've always taken great pride as a Trojan of when you go into another city or when you interview another player that went to a different school, or when you get a guy like Troy Aikman on or somebody that's from Mike Golick from Notre Dame, and you have all your fun talk. There was not a lot of talk to give, and we take great pride. But the feeling of when you walked into our building and Oregon State is kicking your ass. And no disrespect to Oregon State, but that just can't happen continually. Now, teams are going to get you. And I think we got caught up into the arrogance of we're USC, we'll do what we want, we can get guys for a cheaper price, and it always has to be a Trojan within the family. And we've stepped outside the box with an AD. We stepped outside the box with a head coach. And we got a guy that the entire country holds in high regard as a tremendous offensive coach, tremendous credibility, a great recruiter, and the initial returns, I think everybody loves it, and now you got to go do the job with the expectations. So I had so many, but my first thought was really that it's about time we got that guy instead of just a guy, and it's been a decade, and we needed it.
How can he make an impact immediately?
Put a fence around Southern California and make sure that guys that go to Crenshaw and Mater Dei and St. John Bosco and Lincoln High in San Diego and, in the Valley and Granada. I'm just throwing schools out all over the place that they don't leave. That a guy that's within 8 miles of campus or 12 miles of campus or 15 miles or goes to school in Orange County or from, in all the powerhouses and then decides like a Matt Corral or a C.J. Stroud or a Bryce Young, that they roll right, and the young fella from Los Alamitos, which is, you can throw a rock, that's USC, that's territory, and was going to go play for Lincoln in Oklahoma. Can't happen. The best tackle in the country should want to know although, listen, CJ, there is a time change. The times have changed where the attention span is not, it's not because the kid, it's just the environment we're in. Where when I was going to school, I knew about the 1950s or 60s or 80s, 70s Trojans, should I say. History mattered, tradition. And now it's, if you get outside of, I'm telling you right now, 18-year-old kids that are getting recruited, 17-year-old kids, if I went and said, who Marcus Allen is, they don't have a clue. They don't know. Well, I've talked to guys, and there will be some, if he wasn't on TV, that wouldn't know that Matt Leinart won the Heisman Trophy. And that's 15 years or whatever it's been removed. So they're trying to sell and SC's been, we've been known for that. Former players and student body, right? They don't give a rat's ass about student body, right? They care about name, image, and likeness. Can you get me to the pros? Are we going to be playing for a championship? How much money will I make in the Southern? All those things, and that's not a bad thing. But you better learn to keep the energy. You better have a coach that matches that energy and understands the room and the landscape. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have rules, and when they're there, let them realize who Mike Garrett and Marcus Allen and Keith Van Horn and Bruce Matthews, of course. But that better not be your number one selling point because they don't care. It's not what you did for them. They want to know what you do for them now. Listen, I train quarterbacks all over the country, and I'm just telling you now, some of the things that they don't know because they're so caught up in that social media and 5 year, anything 5 years sooner than 5 years, forget it. They want to know now. Ask who John McKay is. To recruit. They don't have any idea who John McKay is. John Robinson. But you know what? They'll know when they get there, and I think that college football has to, Notre Dame, same way. They don't know who the hell Tim Brown is, one of the great players of all time. Rocket Ismail? Oh, yeah. Well, my dad. And it's like, well, okay, no big deal. But I'll damn well tell you they know who Devontae Smith is over the last 3 or 4 years from Alabama. So I think the number one thing he has to do, keep the great players from leaving the state and recruit the parents as well. And then we better develop. It's one thing to get a 5-star. If he leaves a 3-star, then they're not doing their job. And I've seen programs at Miami. It's happened at the University of Texas. It's happened at Florida State, who all been in the same boat as us. All that history and tradition, but they come in one thing and they leave another. Can't do it, man. And you better start selling what you can do for the program now. And I think Lincoln Riley gets it. I don't care if you're 70 or 35 as a coach, but you better understand the kid, and you better understand what you're dealing with. And tradition will be taught, and they want to build a new tradition. That's what you got to teach them. Hell, being a part of that would be awesome, and you got to teach them, and they'll learn former players. They don't care about them now.
It's interesting that you said that. Sean Salisbury went to USC, played quarterback, 10-year veteran in the NFL, also analyst on ESPN, now host of the Sean Salisbury Show on KBME in Houston. You mentioned putting the fence around the state. Well, within 3 days or 5 days, USC landed 5-star prospects, right? He got, like you said, Los Alamitos wide receiver Mekhi Lemon, and then the quarterback that had already committed to Oklahoma and Malachi Nelson. It's happening.
Yep.
So we know that he's doing that, and it was obviously you made a call because he's doing exactly what Sean Salisbury said to do. But now here's the other question from my perspective and my USC fan friends and family in L.A. How does he continue to engage the USC fan the way we're all engaged over the past week and a half?
Well, you better listen. There's some who don't want to shake hands and kiss babies. The best way to engage, CJ, number one, is make sure you empower. And let me backtrack for 1 second. When we hire or anybody hires a head coach that we would consider, and I think he's going to be great, he's a guy I'd stand in line to work for, right? Because I just love, I'm a due diligence guy and about their background and talk to people, and I'm a big fan. I am, regardless of how people leave. It's the way it is. It's a landscape of college football. You're looking for the job that you want, and he wants to move to Southern California. He's got it, and we're lucky to have him. And Oklahoma is going to do great things too, with Venables, and just like Notre Dame's going to do great things, LSU's going to do great things because other good coaches will come along, and you discover who they are. Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame. I'll tell you this though, I try to let people know that I can give you a great head coach that if he doesn't hire a great staff, he's getting fired. Just so people understand this. The head coach gets all the money. Well, the assistants are getting paid good money now, but you get my point. He gets all the money, all the praise and everything. Now, it takes a lot of pressure because you can get fired quickly, but all that goes into it. And you know who does most of the work? Now, Lincoln will call plays and do all that, but it's the assistants, the guys who are cutting tape up, getting your video ready, the defensive coordinator, the position coach. That's where you spend most of your time as a player. The head coach will get most of the credit and building the culture, but you know who not only, while you're building the culture, you know who's got to make sure that the players understand the culture? The ones who are standing shoulder to shoulder with them and are sitting there listening to them talk about their girlfriends that they're having trouble with and that they're struggling in the classroom because the head coach has got so much to do. You better hire a great staff at all these schools. I'm not just talking about Lincoln, which he will. We've already seen some of the hires, but it is so friggin' underrated. It just is. Now, engaging the fans, it's a catch-22 because I don't want my head coach to think that traveling around the whole world and shaking hands and kissing babies just to let everybody know that he's the USC guy and to do all that and forget that we got a day job on Saturday to do. And that's what fans and expectations of alumni, former players, we all want to be on the sidelines and be a part of it, like when Pete Carroll was there. John Robinson was great at it. Engaging's one thing. He owes the media nothing other than his normal appearance. He owes the university, the players, and to win it. It's like the Belichick approach. Now, Lincoln's not going to be like Bill, but Bill Belichick believes that my responsibility is to this team, winning championships, the rest will take care of itself whether you like it or not. We all in the media want answers, and sometimes we're not going to get what we want to hear, but that's okay. Do you want great answers in a jovial Mr. Congeniality with Sandra Bullock? Or do you want a guy who wins? And listen, Clay Helton was as good as anybody with people.
He was.
People love Clay Helton.
Yeah.
And a good man and a good coach. But you know what? Guess what happens? You can be the greatest guy in the world, but if you win 7 games, you ain't going to last long. So there's a happy medium. you do got to go on that bus tour when you go to different cities in Fresno and San Diego and go and give clinics and talk and give speeches. Important, no question, because you got to engage them. But we are arrogant at USC. We think the world, we are, and it caught up to us. We're thinking we finally paid a guy and didn't go the cheap on him and paid him as a private school, which we can afford. And we as alumni, we got to support the fact that, listen, if he didn't put his arm around me 14 times before a game, but we won again, we beat Notre Dame, it's going to be okay. The evolution, that'll take care of itself. And we as fans and players and media got to understand it for SC fans that the priority is making sure the kids are safe, protected, have the best opportunity to win, maximize the building, and that means from assistants to people who get coffee, all those things, and the players and his coaching staff, and then the alumni, all of it. But we also have to recognize how hard the job is and the incredible pressure on the kids and the coach. And you get paid for it, and they know this. So how he engages, CJ, you win first. Now you bring him into it, but, he can shake as many hands as he wants. If we are 1-5, what do you think they're going to say? That shine wears off quickly. So while you're doing it in the process, you cannot allow, just like a coach would tell a player, hey, man, all the stuff, the distractions with social media and girlfriends and all that, you got to have a life outside of football. But don't forget why we recruited you and why, aside from academics, what we have, the goal. And you set those goals in order to reach them. So it's the same with a coach, shaking hands and doing all that. But if it gets in the way of a distraction for a game on Saturday, then we got to learn to understand that they're being pulled in so many directions. But he's engaging guys. So there's a happy medium without doing one or the other so extreme where you don't get out of the building because you're overcoaching, and then you're out of the building all the time. When he's out of the building, it's like a salesperson. I want him recruiting, shaking hands in a grocery store, being nice and being kind, but you can't stick around an extra 4 hours if it's going to cut into your practice plan. So it's the special person that knows how to engage and lead, and people gravitate towards him, but also taking a step back and saying, all right, guys, banquet's over. Time for Lincoln Riley to get ready for fall practice, which starts in a week when that happens. So he'll handle it because he's been there, but it's a tough task, and it's Los Angeles, and it's the media, and they're going to be pulling at him. The ability to say no will sustain Lincoln Riley better than saying yes all the time.
Sean, I know we don't have a lot of time with you tonight because you're a busy dude. So the next time I talk to you, we're going to talk about your new dog, Kilo. I'm so super pumped and proud.
I can answer a few more questions for you. I got a couple more
because
for you.
you're also doing this incredible sock drive, right? I wanted to talk about that too, but I also know that you're busy. So here's my last football question. If I said to you, before the season started, August of 2021, if I said to you, after 12 games, the Cardinals would be 10-2, what would you have said?
I would have said close. I had them challenging for the division, and I had Kyler Murray in the top 3 in the MVP voting in August. I think he is going to be the MVP in the league. Now, Brady's still the MVP. If I voted today, Brady wins it. It's phenomenal what that guy does. But I love the way that their energy, they've turned it around. There's an accountability and a buy-in there that's not fake. And they've got great veteran leadership, and they've got playmakers, and it all starts, too. They've got a quarterback who is lights out. He's accurate and can beat you. So I would have told you 10-2. If you'd have told me that, I said 12 games in the NFC West, when we thought the Seahawks would be better, we knew what the Rams were doing, and we obviously know that the 49ers were supposed to get healthy. I would have said that probably would have exceeded. I would have said 8-4. I'm good with, because I expect them to be above 5. I expect them to be a playoff team and battling. So this does not surprise me, nor does the Murray. Now, the way they're doing it, 10-2, probably a game or two games better than I would have thought. But I said they were going to be a dangerous team, and they're even better than I thought because they're more consistent and they're not beating themselves, which is hard to do throughout a season. And they were able to survive with a good backup the few weeks that Kyler couldn't play. But when you got that guy at quarterback and he knows how to keep people involved and engages them on the field and off, this football team's a long ways away from even reaching their peak, and they're 10-2. They're a very dangerous team with a friggin' lights-out quarterback.
Yeah, on Monday Night Football against the Rams, that's going to be one of the best Monday night games we've seen this year.
No doubt.
Okay,
no doubt.
Kilo, the new dog. Okay, he's only been in your life for a little bit. How did you decide to get this dog? Was it spur of the moment, or did you plan it? What was what went down?
No, we my girl had her son, because he's moving around and got to get to a place where it's a puppy, but he couldn't take it to his next spot because the job was so good, right? So we said, we'll take it. And he said, well, I said, but listen, the rule is if we're going to take it for 2 months or 3 months, I can't, because I got another young, smaller dog here that I get attached to him. CJ, I'm an animal fanatic, and I know you are too, where I love sometimes a lot more than human beings.
Me too.
I think we all go through that. Yeah, because they're just, but, and so we drove 20 hours to pick him up. Wow. And I got off work, drove 20 hours, came back, missed the next day, and brought him back. And he right now is 11. Today's his birthday. He just turned a year old.
Wow.
And he's 80 pounds. And I came out of the house the other day, and my backyard, we just got a big outdoor kitchen built. It's about 4 feet high. He decided when I was standing around that it was time to come up and get close to Pops, and so he jumped and landed all fours on top of and now I'll go out there. It's like a mountain lion. He's walking back and forth, and then he turned on my double beer tap with his nose.
Stop it!
So he's a bright guy, but I promise you. And then he started licking it. So the guy likes a cold beer too.
Nice.
But he is when he stares, he's got that big shoulders, and he's 100% American bully. He's gentle, but he also got that deep roar of a deep voice, like he could be doing voiceovers in a movie for animated.
Yeah.
But he's phenomenal, and these animals bring such joy. So I don't think I can let him out of the house. But he is a good boy, and he's energetic. Right now, he's so energetic that when he sits down and cozies you, that it's hard for him to sit in one place. But when he finally does after a long day, try at midnight moving a dog from you, laying on your lap on the couch at 80 pounds. Hard to do. So, yeah, he's been a joy to bring into the family.
Animals, man. Gosh, such joy. Mr. Robinson is right under under my feet right now. Yeah. One other thing. I want, even though we're in California, I want to get involved with your holiday season sock drive. Is there a way for people to just send money where socks can be bought, or is it better for us to send socks?
I think socks now.
Okay.
Next year or the next gift, I'll put, the PayPal. I just wanted to make it because I tried to do it. We did a couple of years ago before COVID, and it was you had like 15,000 pairs of socks, and we'll probably have close to that again.
Wow.
And how the homeless need them, CJ. It's the most needed item for homeless. And when people say socks, I say, well, let me ask you. If you had to walk around for 6 months on the street in cold or in hot, and you had ripped socks or no socks and no shoes, how would you feel just in your life?
Right,
and you say, well, unless I'm on the sand on a beach or sitting in a backyard in grass, I'm not interested. And so when you start to think about that, you think, well, let me go buy some. So right now, the cat, it's socks, and if they can't, no problem. Even though the drive is going on through the holidays, of course, if somebody sends a 15 pair or 50 pair of socks, and the people are phenomenal. That donate. We get somebody sends 300, but even if it's 2 pair, we'll take them because that's 2 people or one person that gets 2 pairs of socks. So on S. Salisbury Show on Twitter, there is the on the pinned tweet. You'll see all the information.
Okay.
And you can always come to me, anybody at Sean Unfiltered on Twitter, and hit me in my inbox or put it right there. I do my best to get back to 9. Somebody asks me a question on Twitter, I'll answer it, unless I happen to miss it in the middle of the night and get to the information. But it means a lot to me because I know what it's like to sleep in my truck when I hit my rock bottom. And I look at people every day and I think they shouldn't, especially in the holiday season. They shouldn't have to live like this. And so you never know what anybody's going through. And if we can ease their problem for a day or give them comfort for a night, then that's exactly what we'll continue to do. So I'm grateful you asked, and we'll always take an extra pair of socks for somebody.
The Sean Salisbury Show, it's his holiday sock drive. You can go to The Sean Salisbury on Instagram. There is a post from just November 17th. Engel and Volker's Katy in Katy, Texas. They're accepting the socks, just go to he mentioned the Twitters, and this is the Instagram, easy way to send some socks, and it's never too late. We can get them from California in just a few days. Sean, you are amazing. We don't have enough time. Always love listening to you and appreciate your friendship and your honesty and your truth and your opinions and your knowledge. I always wish you the best, and just an extra special holiday season. Thank you so much, friend.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you, and I don't know why you have to wait a year to have me on your show. I'm here. You never bother me. We've been friends, and I've known you for a long time. You do great work, and in order to get good information out of people, you have to ask good questions, and you do that every single time, and you're as prepared as anybody. So, thank you, and you do a great service to your listeners because you know what you're doing and you're good at it and you're prepared. So thank you for having me on, my friend, and it's always nice to come on with friends that you've known a long time, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. Fight on, and maybe we can make a plan to meet at the Coliseum next fall. Wouldn't that be fun?
Fight on and Final Four next year.
Yes.
That's all I'm thinking for our Trojans. I'm in, and Trojans family, you better be happy. This is
it's huge.
This is a home run and higher, and hopefully it'll be a Grand Slam higher when we win a national title. So thank you, CJ. It's good to talk to you.
All right, you two. Take care. Happy holidays.
Thanks, you too.
By Sean Salisbury, Sean Unfiltered, the Sean Salisbury Show on KBME in Houston. I tell the story all the time, but I remember freshman year, I was on the track, and he was a senior, I think, and he was just this hot football player, and one of the heptathletes or decathletes on the track team said, "Oh, no, don't even look over there. He's mine." And all the women on the track team, whenever the football players, they always had to walk by the track to get to the football practice facility. This is a long time ago. And they would walk by, and of course, everybody on the track would stop because they got to look at all the football players, and we were young kids. And Sean Salisbury walked by, and he was nothing but gracious to me from that moment until this. And I am thankful and grateful to have somebody like that in my sports radio life. Coming up, what are you doing for the holidays? You know me, I can't always cook, and I don't always get a chance to leave and head to the South or to Washington State or to Washington, D.C. to see my family. And the best place for me to get my food is right here in San Luis Obispo. And one of our original OG partners on the CJ Silas Show, DJ Dutch from California Fresh Markets, will be in studio. We'll talk a little football. He's a Packer fan. He's coming up. It's the CJ Silas Show on ESPN Radio, 1280 AM and FM 101.7, The Ticket.
Now, back to the CJ Silas Show on ESPN Radio 1280, The Ticket.
Welcome back to the CJ Silas Show. I sent Sean a text right before the show, and I said, 15 minutes is just never enough with you. No wonder he has a 4-hour show in Houston. And I don't even think he has a co-host. I think he does it by himself. But he's just awesome. I don't always agree with him. He's very outspoken and opinionated, but thoughtful, and he has a huge heart. The Cal Poly Sports Update, we're not going to get too much of Cal Poly because I've got DJ Dutch sitting right across from me from Cali Fresh, and I really want to talk to him. So I do want to highlight a couple things about Cal Poly. The men's basketball lost another tight one to San Diego, 52-51. They're on the road this weekend. Their first road trip out of California, playing Portland State and Portland. Wrestling, this is big. Evan Wick, the Pac-12 Wrestler of the Week again. One more big one. Swimming, Brian Wong, the junior, got another MPSF Male Athlete of the Week honors, and Gennady Sintik broke school records versus Fresno Pacific. He had 2 individual wins, and Samantha Rankin also did in swimming. Let's see what else. Cuesta men's basketball was at Grossmont. They lost in overtime. They're at West Hills. They're 3-6. And Hancock women's basketball, they beat Orange Coast. They're next up taking on Folsom Lake, and they won that. Second place at the tournament, and then they lost to Fresno City in the finals. Next up, they're hosting LA Southwest. I would do more. I really would. I care about Hancock and Cal Poly and Cuesta, but I've got a very important name on the other line. DJ.
Stinking Sean.
Hi, Sean Salisbury. But I'm glad because he's entertaining.
He is. He's funny.
And you must not like him very much because he played for one of your rivals as a Green Bay Packer fan.
Wow.
Played for the Vikings. That was his most successful of his time.
In the North, we have no rivals.
Right? That's true.
Kind of own the North. Just ask Aaron. He'll tell you.
I want to talk to you about the market, but because Aaron Rodgers has been such a big story over the past few weeks, and someone said this weekend, and I don't make this decision because I don't get to watch every game, that he's the best quarterback right now. Some would say that about Kyler Murray. Some would say that about Tom Brady. Some would say that Patrick Mahomes is coming back after a rough start. How surprised are you by what Aaron Rodgers is doing this season?
Not at all. Once he gets that chip going,
he just needs a reason.
He needs to be mad. He needs to be mad at somebody besides his opponents.
Yeah.
And when he gets that way, and they're talented this year. They really, the defense is always frustrating me, but this year they look really good. So it's exciting.
People are saying they're in the Super Bowl this year. I mean, people are.
They got to get there,
especially the last 4 weeks.
Got to get there. He's got a COVID toe.
Listen, did you have to even bring that up? I don't want to know about that. He's DJ Dutch from California Fresh Markets. Deutsch.
I know, it's a tough one.
Well, it would be easier if it was spelled D-O-Y-C-H or D-O-Y-T-C-H. Yeah. But because there's an EU, it confuses even the most intelligent who went to nice colleges. Happy everything.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Hanukkah
Happy holidays.
just ended. Thanksgiving's just passed, and now we are on to the holidays. But I do want to recognize right now in front of everyone that you may not know this, but we're turning 10 years old.
Yeah, I do know that. Yeah. I remember that first meeting in the office upstairs.
Sheesh. What was the owner's name? I don't even know if he's Greg someone. Is he still involved?
He is not with California Fresh now.
Okay. But he was the one that made the call. He was the one that said, gosh, she's crazy. Let's help her.
Yeah.
And he's gone, and he believed, but he started
crazy.
And here we are, right? Right, exactly. And I remember being there and thinking, gosh, this is so nice. This market's so cool. And are they going to receive it with Scolari's gone? And is it El Rancho? Is it California Fresh? And you change the name real quick. And the service at this market, okay, I'm not just saying this because you've been with me for 10 years in March. I'm not. It's almost impeccable. Every single person I walk by, unless they don't see me, says hello and asks me if I need something.
Yeah, it's really not arguable. I mean, it's not just saying it because I'm here, or just because. I mean, the people in that store are truly amazing.
But you also train them, but you also pick them right. Because I'm sure there are people you've hired that weren't great, but they're not.
We try to hire right, of course, but it's a culture thing, and people get immersed in the culture, and they see everybody else doing it, and it's enjoyable. It's good to be happy at work. It's just a better environment. So.
And I was saying earlier that you're open on holidays, but your employees don't have to work, and there's like a line for people that want to work on the holidays.
Yeah, Christmas is the one day that's voluntary.
Gosh.
If we didn't get volunteers, we just wouldn't be open.
You couldn't.
But people do. They don't have family close by, or they don't celebrate,
later,
or whatever it might be.
Earlier,
and they volunteer, they line up.
Yeah.
So, we've already got the list going, and we're filling up quick.
So thank you for being a part of the show next March, which is soon. We're having a big party. We're actually even inviting 3 listeners to come as VIPs.
Fun.
And it's going to be at a local winery, and it's going to be fancy, and it's going to be a celebration. 10 years of the CJ Silas Show.
Wow, fancy.
We started at 7 a.m. on a Saturday in March of 2012.
Wow.
And here we are in 21 countries, everywhere.
If you can do anything for 10 years, you're doing well.
Wow. Yeah, I kind of have to, I got to keep those interns in shape. And by the way, none of them are here. Do you know why? Somebody's sick. I'm like, one of you is sick. Nobody, because they were all together over the weekend.
Yep, stay away.
Yep, until you give me some negative tests, then you can come back.
Stay away.
But usually there's someone here when you walk in, like the dog greeted you.
Very well, too.
Did he? Was he excited to see you?
He was very excited.
He didn't bark. He's a pretty good dog.
Nope, he was chewing on a toy and just wanted to be pet.
So crazy. Yeah. Okay, so what's the plan for Christmas? Are you doing the order full meals, which I like, and you can pick it up?
We will have the holiday dinners. Yep.
Okay, good.
The prime rib, salmon or ham with all the fixins and the pie, and $21.99 a person. Get in and get it booked early because we learned a few years ago this really took off, and we just could not keep up with demand, and we had a pretty bad experience about 3 years ago, and since then we've limited the amount we're taking. In different time slots. So definitely call in, and, get those orders placed because it does fill up quick. If you don't get a reservation, we do walk-ins as well. So,
but still, come on. Last year, I think you sold out like a week before the holiday. It was crazy.
A week before our deadline.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it's very. It's a great meal. It's a great deal.
And you do it at all 3 markets.
All 3, yep.
I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I go down to El Rancho. I have friends in San Ynez, and it's hard for me to relax on my day off. So I find myself down there for like a sleepover.
Get away.
Where I can really get away from everything. And I love that market. And it's interesting how you can utilize the space.
that store needs to...
Oh, my gosh. How do you do that?
That store is very small, especially compared to Pismo.
But still.
Yeah. And
even the slow one is pretty small, but the one down in Santa Ynez is small, and you've got everything.
Everything.
How do you do that?
It's
crazy.
You have to be resourceful.
Now, do you do that, or do you hire some California closet-style person that's just really good at that stuff?
We do it. I actually happen to be pretty good at that.
You are?
Yeah, I'm kind of OCD. So.
Oh, good to know. So next time I move, I'm calling you.
Yeah, absolutely. I just got a truck, too. So.
Or if I have to pack my car for a trip, I'm calling you.
There you go. Yeah, I'm very good at Tetris.
Oh, are you? In real life and on the computer?
It's just getting things, not really, not on the computer, in real life. Yeah.
How's the family?
Family's doing great. Yeah, all the kids are healthy, and we all did come down with it.
You did get COVID. Yeah. Everybody, all at the same time?
All but 2 of them, yeah. They avoided it somehow.
And everybody's okay?
Everybody's fine.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, we're good.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
So
one of my nurse friends said, it's everywhere. No matter what you do, whether you're vaccinated or not, it's everywhere. Just be careful.
Yeah,
just be careful and thoughtful.
Just don't come to work sick.
Yeah, don't, even if it's just a sniffle, because really,
stay away.
That's why this is an empty studio. He's DJ Deutsch from California Fresh Markets, one of the original partners on the CJ Silas Show. What else do you have going through the holidays? Because I know that you've got that beautiful big gift section in Pismo, which you can't fit very well at the other stores. What about the wing bar is back? Is the olive bar?
Yep.
Tell me about all that stuff.
All the bars are back.
Okay, good.
Really for the holidays, it's the adult beverage section is a great spot to go. You're going to find something.
Ever.
Yeah,
best place to find hard booch.
Yeah,
seriously.
The best craft beer, best spirits, local wines, the products throughout the store. Unique selections, great gift ideas. It's just. The meat department, obviously. Choice, Wagyu,
Love
Prime.
Those guys and gals.
It's amazing.
So good.
And the store
bakery,
is really amazing. Yeah, the bakery with scratch-baked pies, and the sourdough is the best.
I have to tell you, I did not know about the sourdough. Where was I? Think Casey was checking me out, one of my favorite checkers. She's been there a long time. She was checking me out, and I told her I work at the Spoon Trade, and we have this sourdough bakery across the street, and it was nice to see
Also very
her.
good.
But yeah. And she says, we do really good sourdough here. I'm like, come on, Casey, it's Grover Beach sourdough. She says, well, I'm just saying. So I said, okay, and I went, and I put my stuff, I paid, and I went and I got, I don't remember which one. It could have been the jalapeno.
Cheddar?
Yes. Oh, listen, I think I gained 3 pounds. I think I ate that one in 2 days, one person. The sourdough
easy.
blew me away.
Yeah.
Who's baking for you right now?
It's a mix. We got a bunch of people back there, but we sent a guy, Lewis, about 8 years ago to be trained by a master. Yeah. And
no wonder. See, that's obvious.
And he brought that back, and he's not with the store anymore, but he left his mark.
Which is nice.
And we've got that program rolling, and it's amazing. There's nothing like fresh baked sourdough.
It's true. And you came in, DJ, during the pandemic because we just wanted to talk about what was going on. And did you close for a minute? Did you even close?
No.
You close? You had your senior hour in the morning. You guys were dialed in so quick. It was unbelievable how quick you dialed into the pandemic.
It was, you had no choice. You just had to react and go with it and make quick decisions and try to make the best decisions you can. And, the community obviously is very supportive, so that helps. And the staff, that's really, for me, the thing that's blown me away is through this whole 2 years is we've never been really short-staffed. We have times, we have days
of
here
course.
and there
people
where
go away or someone's sick.
Or they're sick, and we're telling them you cannot come to work. It's not even like don't. You cannot. If I see you, you're out. You're going home.
One sniffle, one sneeze, you're out.
It's kind of a weird, dynamic.
Better safe than sorry.
But they just every day. Like I said, the people in that store are truly amazing.
It really is incredible. And as a human, you never had to make any decisions like that business-wise in your life. Something like that hit, and you're in charge of all these people and all this organization. Personally, how did you get through that?
Again, you just do it. It's the next indicated step. Like, what do we do now? And how do we handle this? And just try to make good decisions and to educate yourself the best you can. And it was a trip, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I never thought being in a grocery store that I would be crisis control.
No way. And frontline workers.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, think about it. At the beginning, the only things that were open were essentials, and really everybody closed except for grocery stores just to figure it out for maybe just a week.
Right.
A lot of people closed. You didn't even do that. So between you and the medical care workers, That was it. Nothing. And first responders.
It's really hard to think about that actually happened.
I know. It's so crazy because it did, and we lived through it and here we are, and in a month, it's going to start being close to 2 years. So
crazy.
Music's here. It's over.
Oh, we're out of here.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you. Happy holidays. California Fresh Markets on 5 Cities Drive in Pismo Beach, where I shop. Foothill Boulevard in San Luis Obispo, and El Rancho, the OG in Santa Ynez. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
10 years coming up, and he'll be at the party, I'll tell you that. Who knows? They'll probably be catering it, too. Don't forget, this show's here for you Wednesday nights live, 5 o'clock Pacific. I'm going to turn off my mic. I'm out.
Thanks for listening to The CJ Silas Show. Find her podcast on thecjsilashshow.com. Follow her on all social media platforms, including her YouTube channel. Make an appointment to listen every Wednesday on ESPN Radio 1280 AM and FM 101.7. CJ out.